Welcome to Sailing Sersha. I'm Teagan. My parents sold our house, sold their business, and bought a 38-foot island spirit catamaran with the goal to travel the world. Only problem is, it needed a complete refit. After 3 years, we are finally ready to set sail. This is Colbin, my husband, Karen, my mum, Denver, my brother, and Robin, my dad. Together we make up Sailing Sersha. Should we start it by welcome back?
It's been a while.
Welcome back to Sailing Sersha.
It's been a while since we put out a video. Had a lot going on between. We're back. Just getting back to, it's been a couple of weeks since we put out a video. We've had a medical emergency and just lots of planning and details to attend to in the meantime, and that's the reason.
So we started off with me in the hospital, but it doesn't sound as bad as that. I just went in for some checkups. I've had a lot of feedback on my weight and how much weight I've lost. It isn't intentional. I have an underlying thyroid problem, so we just went in for blood work and blood tests just to make sure everything was okay, and it is. So yeah,
There we go.
Yeah. That was on the Tuesday, and
we thought, okay, that's it. We can now plan and get away. So by Wednesday.
Yeah, literally the next day, my dad had something brewing from Saturday, the week before, and we thought,
as usual, when we were saying this needs to be attended to, no, it's all fine, it's all fine, it's all gonna just go away by itself. And it didn't. So from the very beginning I thought it was a deep vein thrombosis. It had all the signs of a deep vein thrombosis, and he was like, no, can't, not possible, until eventually the pain got so bad that he couldn't ignore it anymore and woke up in the morning and said, okay, maybe we need to go to the hospital, which we duly did.
well, it first started out at a health clinic because they say that we were hoping that they would have the facilities to check for a deep vein thrombosis, which they didn't, but they could give you a reference to the public hospital. Now, our biggest problem was the fact that we are not on medical insurance or anything.
One of those cost-saving plans that we made.
And that means going to a public hospital. With me going the day before, we knew the protocol and how long it would take, which was 6 hours for blood work. But I mean, that's fine, it's doable. They're making the most with what they've got. So yeah, my dad went into the health clinic and they
immediately said they can't attend to him there. We need to get over to the main big Trinidad General Hospital in the city of Port of Spain.
Gave you a
recommendation
letter, which gets you into the line a bit faster.
Yes.
So
as usual, Robin decided that wasn't going to happen the same day. We were going to go the following day, but it meant that we could get onto a bus very early, get into town, and we're at the hospital very early. We had to go in by a casualty, and it took us. We got back in the evening, so it was a very long day. It's a standard government hospital, so you don't expect to have super fast service. They're dealing with a lot, but we cannot say how well they dealt with, well, how well he was treated. There was no cost spared as to all the tests that he did that were done on him. Initially they thought his leg had gotten so swollen that they thought it was a cellulitis and thought, oh, maybe not a deep vein thrombosis, maybe it's just cellulitis. So they put him onto an intravenous drip, antibiotic drip, and said, well, we're going to do all the testing anyway. Well, by about 6 o'clock in the evening they came back and they said, right, it's now confirmed he does have, they suspect that it's a deep vein thrombosis. Rushed him off to x-ray, did a Doppler on his leg, and came back and said definitely deep vein thrombosis. So then they gave him injections of anticoagulant, wanted to admit him, wouldn't have that, said he was going home to his boat.
But it's also not the
Essential.
hospital you want to be admitted to.
So he just said no, if he has to come back the following day, then that's what he'll do, but he's going home for the night. So after much discussion with the supervising doctors and everything, they said, okay, fine, we'll give him the anticoagulant medication, come back in, it was
2 weeks.
2 weeks to the outpatient clinic where they would just check that everything was right. He was put onto anticoagulants, which he got from the hospital again.
All free.
All free. We walked in and we left when he was well, and we hadn't paid a penny, with, yes, very testing circumstances, but you could not fault the care and detail they had gone to make sure that everything was alright.
Even with me, I just went in for blood work and they did ECGs, all sorts of tests. So they really do
go out of their way to do all the right things and make sure they've got everything covered. So that was the outcome. Oh, and then there was even the CT scan. So one of the things they insisted on doing was a CT scan just to check the rest of his body. It was all right, which we went back a week later, 10 days later,
10 days.
Did that. And then about a week later, had to go back for the results at the outpatient department, which then fell in line with his
3-week checkup.
Yeah, his 3-week checkup, which was all fine. And they said, fine, carry on. We've been given some pointers on things that we just need to monitor, and then we are due to be back in Trinidad in 6 months for the hurricane season again. So we will just go back for another checkup then. But for now, he's good.
It was just a very stressful time.
Very stressful.
Being in a foreign country and not knowing facilities and not knowing how things run. It's not home, so you're not familiar with it.
Yeah.
So
Can't thank Peaks Yard enough.
Yeah.
Yard Services. They have a shuttle that takes people in and out for shopping, generally for shopping. And they were amazing. 99% of our trips in and out of the hospital, and there was a lot over those 3 weeks. They managed to squeeze us into the shuttle and go out of their way to come and fetch us between other shopping trips. And we would have really been lost without them. So all thank you, huge thank you to Peak Yacht Services for that. They were amazing.
My parents left for the hospital the first day when they went in to check if it was a deep vein thrombosis. You went in at 6:30.
Yeah.
And they got back at 10:30 that night. So
a long day.
Everything that you do at the hospital takes forever, even sitting in the line at where you get your medication. It took about 3 hours.
No, because we didn't get the medication. I went back the following day to get, because by the time we left at 9:30, the pharmacy was closed. So I had to go back on the Saturday to get his anticoagulants.
So it was a lot of trips. It was probably 3 trips into the hospital each week.
At least, yeah.
So
because when he wasn't being treated, I was going in and out. They don't answer a telephone. So if you want an answer about an appointment or to make sure that the CT scan results are going to be ready or anything like that, you've actually physically got to go in. And I wasn't going to be sitting back waiting for that to happen. So I was just going in and out constantly.
And so some of the signs to his deep vein thrombosis was swelling on his ankle and leg, which then turned into bright red rash on the back of his leg. That looked like cellulitis, and then eventually it extended around the front with the swelling and everything.
Huge swelling.
It was...
And very hot. If you felt that the bottom of his leg and the rest of his body, there was a huge temperature difference, which are all the obvious signs of DVTs.
So just something to watch out for. It's a common thing. But the most scary part was that was happening to him on our crossing from South Africa. He wasn't getting the red rash, but he got a lot of swelling in his leg.
Yeah.
So we're just so lucky that it happened.
And that we
when it
hadn't
did.
left Trinidad because we had been due to leave Trinidad.
We were gonna
had
leave that
slowed
week.
down because of your blood test. We decided Teagan needed to have a blood test before we left. And that was the only thing that had held us there. Otherwise, we would have been on the way, and who knows what would have happened then.
Yeah.
So we were very lucky.
Once
with that.
again, our guardian angels are watching over us. There's always a reason when
For a delay.
Yeah, we've just realized with all our delays and problems and stuff, there's always a silver lining that you need to see to it. And we're just appreciative
grateful for
of where we are and what has come.
So for now, we just have to make sure he has to be on his anticoagulants for 3 months minimum.
He wears a very sexy stocking.
Yeah, one of those compression stockings, which he moans about constantly, but he's actually quite good about wearing.
So,
And we get him walking every day because he needs to walk and keep his circulation going. He hasn't been too bad about all that.
he was so fine the first 3 days where he had to sit with his leg up and he listened to everybody and we're all running around for him, and then he got difficult. But
I was surprised we got the 3 good days.
yeah.
That was a bonus.
But yes, so everything is fine. Things are being monitored and
Moving along. Onwards and upwards with our plans.
we met an amazing local called Mikhail through one of our Trinidad YouTube videos. He reached out to us, offered to take us for a drink at a bar called The Natural Experience, which is at Coral Cove inside Chaguaramas Bay. Mikhail also bought us 2 bottles of some of Trinidad's best rum, which is an Angostura brand, which is known all over the world, and we didn't even realize it's made locally right here in Trinidad. Mikhail also took us down the road to Marguerite Bay, which is just around the corner from Chaguaramas and right on our doorstep.
So Mikhail and his friend Sastri have invited us on a trail hike, and we're going up to a waterfall. We're on the north coast of Trinidad at the moment, and it looks insane. Sorry guys, I just need to watch where I'm going here before I become a casualty.
A few days later, Mikhail also offered to take us on a sightseeing tour of Trinidad and have a look at some waterfalls and some sights. Unfortunately, it fell on the day that my dad was going into hospital to have all his checks done and find out what was wrong, so I stayed behind and the boys went and did some exploring.
It's quite cold. It's quite cold.
Yes, man, somebody has to do it. Somebody has to do it. Let's jump in. Let's jump in. Yeah. Call it on 3. 1, 2, 3.
I'm actually shivering.
Any ship that comes into the ports, Port of Spain, that is not welcome. Kaboom, 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 kaboom.
Oh, it's no actual military.
Yeah, way back when.
So we've come here to Fort George, old military base in Trinidad, with some of our local friends, Mikhail and Sasha, and there's view of Port of Spain from the top of the hill. The metropolitan area of Port of Spain. So we're up here at Fort George, the old military base in the heart of Trinidad, well actually Port of Spain. We are looking over Port of Spain at the moment on this side, and Diego Martin is on the other side over here. This is where Mikhail lives. Yup. Diego Martin?
Yeah.
This is your place?
Yep.
There's Diego Martin on the other side, so we really are on top of the hill, yeah?
Huh?
No showers, nothing.
Jail still like that?
18th century jail.
There's a whole lot of bucket. Pick one. And if you had a piss of a canal outside.
So
They don't use all of them, but
got given strict instructions by the chief of film production to make sure that I get good photos of everything. The GoPro never really does much justice though. But then distance is Carnage Bay, 5 Islands. We are just on the other side of that. The view is incredible though, man.
We have to say a humongous thank you to Mikhail for all his hospitality and taking time out of his days to show us around, take the boys out, and just everything he did for us in the few weeks that we knew him. Thanks so much, Mikhail. You really, really made our experience in Trinidad one to remember. Thank you for watching with us.
Hope it wasn't too long, but just something that sailors have to take into account is that you're always in a foreign country when health issues arise. They're not unsurmountable. Always people around to help you and advise you, and it all works out fine in the end.
And the dark days get brighter eventually. We've had a lot of dark days
But the bright days always come. So
2 months.
yeah. So thank you for watching. Hope you're enjoying the videos, and we'll see you next
Have
week.
any
Yes. Questions, comments, please put them in the comment section. We love interaction with people who watch our videos.
Bye.